So in this analysis, I want to show you how powerful the handler's body movement is in cueing the dog's behavior. So what we're doing in agility class is teaching your dogs to know what all the obstacles are and to perform them safely. And once they can do that, then pretty much the rest of it is up to you in order to have your dog successfully run courses. And so learning how to handle and how important your body movement is to your dog's understanding of what you want is something to be important about, to be aware of really early on. So something I've been really realizing a lot more nowadays is how important deceleration is in cueing a dog. And typically when you decelerate, you slow down, you're telling your dog to come to you, to come into you. And so I've got a couple videos here to show you how that works and how that helps out in handling, and also what happens when you don't do it well. So this first video here is, of course I did a couple weeks ago, so I'm sending Nico here to a backside. She's coming around. I am running like crazy, right? I want to get to the next jump. I'm flying, but then right here, I lift my body, I'm leaning forward. I lift my body up, plant my feet, slow down, and here I'm also kind of bringing up, you can see my left arm, my off arm is coming up, and I'm now practically backwards. And look at my dog. She's coming over this jump, and she's heading to that tunnel. She's got to take one end of those tunnels, and only one end is correct. And it's not quite clear to her as she approaches which one it is. It could be either end. But my deceleration here, slowing down, bringing her in, makes her look. She takes this jump and she's kind of looking at one end of the tunnel, but then she sees me. You can see her head right there. One end of the tunnel, boom. She's like, oh, that end of the tunnel. And I don't have to do anything else. At that point, Nico knows that's the end of the tunnel she needs to go in. So she makes the correction and she runs to the correct end of the tunnel, even though that other end is right there in front of her and extremely tempting to take. She read my body movement and went to the correct end. So that's that course. Now here is me doing it wrong. So this was a time to beat course. Time to beat is an AKC course where the idea is that the fastest dog at each jump height sets the time to beat, and every dog that comes in after that gets points based on how close they are. So you really want to run this as fast as you can. And the ending on this course was a little challenging. It was the straight line, but the last jump the dog had to take was a little offset from that line. So this is me running with my younger dog. She's going through the weaves, being a very good girl. I pull away from her while she's still in the weaves because I want to get to the other side of this double here. And you can see I got her on my right, I need her on my left. So I see her coming out of those weaves. As soon as I see her leave the weaves, I'm a little bit late, but I put a blind in here. So I get her on my left side, and look at me run. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, and look at her take the wrong jump. And here's why that happened. Because I was running so hard, I thought, well, I'll beat my dog, and I will pull her to this red wing jump over here. That's where she needed to go, was to this jump. But instead, my motion, all this motion driving her forward, full blast, at the very last second, she's already taken off. And here I'm suddenly starting to show cue a little bit that I want her to slow down and turn. But especially with a young dog like this, look at her head. She is so sure. She kind of gives me half a glance, but she's pretty positive because I was so late that that was the right jump. And she, they also learn, this is the very end of the course, it was the last jump. They learned to run for that last jump, so that was something I was fighting there too. I just didn't give her enough information. So look at her, look at her leap, and the second she lands, she's like, oh, mom's way back there. But this wasn't her fault. She was being a good girl. I was giving her some very late cues, and so she just didn't pick up what to do. So I got a second chance because I got to run my older dog a little bit later on the same course, and so I tried to learn my lesson. So same thing, I leave her at the weaves. I do a blind a little earlier because she's my older dog and I trust her a little bit more on the weaves. So I'm running, I've switched her over to my left side with a blind cross. I'm running, And look at this. Here, I start planting my foot and start leaning back. And this is hard because Nico also, she's an experienced dog. She knows this is the end of the course. We run full out, and usually we get to run in a straight line and run for the end. But I need her to come to me, to come take this red jump hiding over here, you know. So I cue this decel pretty early, long before she takes off for that last jump. And she, look at this, she gets one extra stride in there. She kind of slows down, gets a quick extra stride in, and comes towards me when she lands. She knows when she comes over this jump, she still sees that other jump out there, but I've given her enough of a cue that she's like, okay, we're coming over here. And so she takes it, and then she takes that jump just like that. And she knows. So that is how important your body movement can be. And sometimes we think we want to race that dog and get them, get there as fast as we can, but in doing so, we're pushing the dog to take a straight line and to go fast and to extend. But decelerating, slowing your body motion down, will tell the dog, nope, I need you to slow down, I need you to turn towards me, and that's without any verbals at all. Just your body motion will give that dog a pretty strong cue. So that is why learning and thinking about that deceleration as a cue is really important with agility.